And for what? Wilbur shouted, on his feet, arms wide. You to overthrow me again? What, you want my van now? Here! He slammed a key on the table in the empty restaurant. Wilbur, I don't want your van, Quackity said calmly. Take my van! Wilbur, I don't want your van. A silence fell over the two, Wilbur breathing gently through gritted teeth. Neither of them knew it, but the Needle restaurant had just rotated its 5,000th time. Quackity had simply asked Wilbur what he thought of the meal. This had progressed into arguments over the chef's competence, then Quackity's competence, then Wilbur's demeanour. All Quackity needed to ask is if he could take his coat from him. Well, what do you want? Wilbur queried, vaguely gesturing outwards towards other non-existent restaurant patrons. Huh? You have my money, you have my time, hell, I'd even say you have my attention. Quackity raised an eyebrow at Wilbur, and he paused. Which is a lot for me. He sunk back into his chair. An innocent onlooker would think Quackity was treating a homeless man to a nice meal. The plates were empty, but only Wilbur showed signs of having eaten. The puree stains sat stubbornly on the corners of his mouth and his shirt. Quackity had worn a serviette bib. You want my dignity? Wilbur opined. I don't want your dignity, Wilbur, Quackity responded, tersely now. Growing tired of Wilbur's insolence, he forcefully cracked a smile. Aside from your jacket for the cloakroom, I want your wisdom. Oh, my wisdom. Wilbur was standing again. My wisdom! Well, how about you crack open my head with a meat tenderizer and scoop it all out? Wilbur also cracked a wry smile. Or a pickaxe? Sit down, Wilbur, Quackity snapped, and Wilbur sat. The thing is, running a nation is hard, began Quackity, Wilbur's eyes attempting a roll. You have a lot of people depending on you. They invest their lives, their time, and their future into your hands. It's a cliche, but they pay through blood, sweat, and tears. And I just don't think I can offer my people the best life on my own, he continued. Wilbur, I want to offer you a position. This sentence stirred Wilbur, and he finally seemed to have time to listen. You've proven you're not as volatile anymore. You're not a threat to me, and I think you're ready to re-enter government. Re-enter government? Asked Wilbur. What's the catch? If I... No catch, Quackity interrupted, placing a contract on the table. A handwritten parchment, checked, authorized, and checked again, in such a thorough way only Quackity could accomplish. Wilbur paused, and for the first time in a long time, began to feel humbled. I don't think I can govern your nation, Quackity, he said softly. I appreciate the respect you must have for me to put me in a position of power, but I just don't think my reputation would grant anyone the peace of mind you're looking for. I'd still be president, Quackity replied. But then I'd have to be behind the scenes. What trust could people put in the government if that comes out? You wouldn't be behind the scenes. What do you mean? Wilbur breathed, the words falling off his tongue and landing into a short silence. You'd be a figurehead as much as I, Quackity spoke slowly. We'd work together. You'd want another coalition? Wilbur asked. Big Q, I think if I were to be in power, I'd want to rule alone. Rule? There was a further pause. Quackity seemed just as confused as Wilbur for a moment before his eyes lit up and he chuckled. Oh, oh God, no, Wilbur, you wouldn't rule us Nevadas. Wilbur's humbled expression began to fade. You'd be my vice president.